All right, we're going to talk about 6 Windows tips that I found. Some of these you're probably aware of, and some of them you may not be of, but we'll get started here. Keyboard shortcuts. Windows has a number of keyboard shortcuts that can save you time and make it easier to navigate your computer. Some useful shortcuts includes Windows plus D to minimize all open windows, Windows plus L to lock your computer, and Windows plus I to access your settings. You also can do custom keyboard shortcuts. Windows allows you to create custom keyboard shortcuts for any application or folder on your computer. So to do this, you want to right-click on the application or folder and select Properties, and then click on the Shortcut tab. Create your shortcut by typing in a letter of your choosing. A shortcut will be created automatically using that letter. For instance, if I wanted to make a shortcut for Google Chrome, I could type in a G, and then the shortcut would be Control-Alt plus G. And if you have shortcuts on your desktop that you want to be able to access those using a keyboard application, just right-click on it and then click on the Shortcut tab. In Windows 11, it's a little bit more convoluted. So you can click on all apps on the Start menu and then click on More, select the right click on the application or folder, and then click on the file location. And File Explorer opens, click on the 3 dots, select Properties, and then click on the Shortcut tab. And again, create your shortcut by typing in any letter of your choosing, and the shortcut will be created automatically using that letter. Clipboard history. Windows has a built-in clipboard history feature that allows you to access your clipboard history and paste any previously copied item. Windows key plus V will do the trick. God mode. Enabling God mode will give you access to a wide range of advanced settings and features that are not normally available in Windows. To enable it, simply create a new folder and rename it to God mode dot, and this long string of letters and numbers. You need to type that as exactly as displayed, including the dot between God mode and the bracket. And here's a little short video that will give you
Here's a computer hack I bet you didn't know. You're going to create a new folder on your desktop, and you're going to rename the folder to this. Now you have an icon that looks like this. Double click that, and you've got access to literally every setting within Windows. This is called God mode.
And you'll be surprised what you can do, but I do caution you in using this. This is almost the equivalent of using the registry. So make sure that when you are playing around with that you have pad and paper to make a step-by-step scheme of what you did when you were using it, because you can get yourself into trouble. But it will give you a wide variety of settings that you can do using that feature. In Windows, you can also print a document to PDF from any application thanks to the built-in print to PDF feature. You no longer have to use the old XPS printer or install a third-party application. To get started, open the document you want to print to a PDF file. Find and open the print dialog box in the application. Where this is located will vary by program, but you can usually go to File, Print, and just click the printer icon. Windows Print to PDF feature allows you to save any document or web page as a PDF file. That concludes our Windows tips for this segment. Ron, back to you.
So this brings us into a section now where we've never done this before. This is a new idea that we're going to try out. And this is where we normally have pre-recorded segments that are very formal, but I wanted to talk to Mike and I about our EV car experience. And I said, well, to Mike, why don't we just wing it? Why don't we just do a little talk, an informal talk, rather than making a specific video? And I can talk a little bit about our experiences and maybe how we came about on this journey. So Mike, if you don't mind, I'm going to go first. All right. And I'm going to actually, hold on a sec. I got to get my watch on here and get the timer going, because you know me, I could talk forever and I've got to limit myself to 7 minutes. So my watch should go off. If I blab on further than 7 minutes, please somebody grab me and shake me or something, and we will we'll have and I'll stop. So let me just talk a little bit about the journey. As you know, that I bought the car behind me, which is a RAV4 hybrid, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And I guess one of the problems is if you're a senior, why do you want a new car, and why do you want to spend a lot of money on something that, hey, do you really need that? And I guess that's a question that everyone has to ask themselves. And in our particular situation, I have, of course, my big diesel truck I've had for 20 years that, you know, is great. It sits in my garage. I drive it about once a month, but it's big and it's great on the highway, but it doesn't do well. So we had, so 5 years ago, my best friend died, and he gave me his Jeep Patriot, which was a great little car to run around in. But there are a lot of things wrong with it. And it's great to go to Costco and for Gail to go to church. But if we wanted to take it out on the highway, or we wanted particularly to go to Victoria for some more medical tests if we ever needed any, it's just not very reliable. So I really wanted to, rather than be in crisis mode, I wanted to upgrade the car to something that wasn't a big problem like the Jeep is now. But it didn't cost me anything, so it's been great transportation, but I need something that's really reliable. So we decided to look at cars, and I want to thank Mike Ungerman for helping me go down this journey, because I bought a car for 20 years, and I was always thought, you know, you go and you buy a used car that's 3 years old because someone else has depreciated it, and that's where you get your best deal. And if that is what you think, then you haven't bought a car in the last 5 years. It's all changed, right, Mike? That is not anything like the world is in reality right now. And Mike also had talked about the Car Edge, which is on his playlist on our Saturday newsletter. And I would encourage you to look at that. And I watch the Car Edge almost every day now, and it upgrades me on, you know, what's really happening in the car industry, which is quite interesting. And what you will soon find, that if you go to buy a car, at least it was in the last year when we started looking, is that used cars are more expensive than new cars. Yes, that's true. It's true. In fact, my RAV4, the one that you see behind me, cost me $35,000, but the dealer sold a 2022 for $50,000, $15,000 more the day I bought this, and I got it delivered. So it is true that used cars now are really hard to come by, and they're very expensive. So we quickly decided in our journey that we were going to buy a new car. Now, when I was out washing my car this last week on our little crescent that we live in, there's 2 Teslas that are next to us here, and 2 other EV cars. And as all the neighborhood came by to see the new car, of course, 3 of the people said that their cars were coming this week as well. So clearly, and we're all seniors, so clearly there's a lot of interest in EV cars. So that would be something that you might want to think about. The other thing about keeping an older car now, which is really interesting, is that the used car fleet in the United States and Canada is now up to 12.2 years. It has never been this old. Like the used car fleet out there is really old, which means there's incredible pressure to fix these things. And we haven't seen that here, but in the Toronto area, if your radiator goes or you have an alternator problem, you take it in, it goes, and it's a month before they can see it. There aren't enough mechanics or garages to fix these vehicles. And so this is a constant thing that, as there's not enough pilots, as there's not enough doctors, you know, you go on and on and on. It's the same problem getting old cars fixed. At least it is in certain parts. So yeah, it's another issue that we didn't want to get into, because the advice that I can give everybody is plan it. If you wait until you're in a crisis mode and your car doesn't work and you have to buy a new one, well, then you just may be in some problems, because you need, my advice would be to plan it. And we decided to, first thing we did is we went and we decided to go and look at different dealers, and we spent 6 months going to different dealers in the area that we live, about 15 dealers. Gail and I go out for lunch every Friday, and in the afternoon, we would go look at dealerships. And there were certainly 75% of them I would never want to do business with. In fact, some of them, you know, they would have the salesman would come out and give you his card, and he would be, the last guy's name would be crossed off, and he'd write his over it, you know, and they were there, and the dealerships didn't have any cars, because of course that you have to order all the new cars now, which was interesting. So we reviewed and made our decision on Toyota because we really liked the dealership. And then we had to decide whether we were going to go electric or not electric. Well, we decided to go electric. We were going to do a gas hybrid. Now, many of you may or may not know, Mike's going to talk about a plug-in hybrid. I don't have a plug-in hybrid. I have a gas hybrid. And the difference being is, in my car with the gas hybrid, it was only $2,000 more than a regular car, right? It very little difference in price. And Honda, you'll find with gas hybrids, there's very little difference in price and a lot more in, because the battery is only the size of the rear seat. It sits under the rear seat, whereas the battery in Mike's car is big, right? So because it's smaller, it's a lot cheaper. And so there's only about a $2,000 difference in price. So that's one of the reasons why we chose our gas hybrid. Now, Mike's going to talk to you about his plug-in hybrid, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen, or I guess I'll just take off my spotlight. You can go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, I believe I need to spotlight myself, so give me.
No, if are you going to share your screen?
I'll share my screen. Yeah.
If you share your screen, you don't need to put the spotlight.
Don't have to do that. Okay, so we'll share screen. And I'm okay, I'm sure. Let's see, here we go, share screen. Well, unlike Ron, I think with organized notes. So I prepared this as if I was doing a presentation, but it gives me some talking points. And for those of you that like to read text, you can read what I'm about to say, or read ahead as you wish. Many of you know that I ran an EV, or not an EV series, a rooftop solar photovoltaic series in Tech for Seniors last year. We had 2 phases put in, one in 2017, one in 2019. And I had a 12-year-old, I had a 5-year-old 2012 Hyundai Tucson. It had 40,000 miles on it. So I could have kept it as a used car, but I was in the market, hadn't really decided what I wanted. There was an international auto show here in Orlando in the fall of 2017. And retroactively, I probably could say I made the mistake of going by the Kia display and saw their brand new, not yet in the marketplace, Kia Niro plug-in hybrid, and talked to their sales reps, saw their video presentations, and it just, the light bulb went on. And I said, you know, I've got a solar system on my roof. I could charge that plug-in hybrid for my solar production on sunny days, why I have a smile on sunny days, and essentially drive the first 26 miles of any trip free. So I said, okay, time to jump in. I did kind of what Ron did, except I was focused on Kia. And I did 2 months of research to actually find a Kia dealership that was willing to order a Kia Niro PHEV because they weren't in stock. And then I wanted at that time to be able to use my credit union's car buying program and try to get a discount, which you could get then. These days it's MSRP or MSRP plus something. So in December of 2017, I was able to place my order. They found the car. It was actually on a ship en route to the US. And in February, actually Valentine's Day of 2018, you can see here's the car that I got, Kia Niro PHEV, silver with a silver light silver interior. And it came with a charging cable, level 1 charging cable, which you can see I've got plugged in right there. I decided that I really wanted to have an external outlet on my wall, and I also wanted to have that outlet support the level 2 chargers. So I had an electrician come to our house and install these side-by-side outlets on a single circuit, or it's double circuit. Comes out 220 and it's split off 110 for the 110. And here's my level 1 charger plugged in, and this is where the level 2 charger would plug in. And unfortunately, I have to park the Kia outside because we have a 2-car garage. My wife says, no, you're not going to take my place. We've got a nice van, and I've got a classic Corvette in the other slot. So she stayed outside, but it's weathered pretty well. So I can fully recharge my Kia's battery, getting about 26 miles of EV range. And that's the spec with the level 2 charger. And it can charge the car in about 2 hours. Level 1 with their standard charger that comes with the car is 9 hours. So typically I wait for a nice sunny day, about 10 in the morning, and by noon it's fully charged if it was fully empty. When I'm driving it, it's a little bit different driving technique for a PHEV as opposed to a hybrid. But what happens essentially is you start out in the EV mode and you drive it for the first 26 miles in EV mode. If your AC is on for cooling in the summer months, the maximum range is automatically reduced to 24 miles. I've actually seen that go down to 23 on really hot days. And then when the battery shows 0 miles of range remaining, the car automatically switches to hybrid mode and runs just like Ron's does in his hybrid mode. Functions as a regular Kia Niro. And on average, I do get between 50 and 55 miles per gallon in hybrid mode. So it's very efficient. While I'm in the EV mode, if I really need acceleration, I just step on the gas and it significantly increases speed. And there's a point where the engine will cut in to augment the acceleration. And then when I'm finished accelerating, like to pass a car, I just let up on the pedal and it reverts to EV mode as long as there's power left in the battery. If I wish, I can actually push a button and force hybrid at any time, even from starting out. There's also a sport mode on the transmission. And Ron, I think you've got a sport mode too that you can select. And I found out with trial and error that what this does is it changes the gear ratios and also changes the way the engine interfaces with the transaxle and the gearing so that I can get a lot of torque in the sport mode. So that's great for cutting across traffic if I have to make a left turn across traffic, or if I'm also merging on an expressway and I want to get up to speed really quick. And then if I want to feel sporty, I can actually manually go through all 6 gears. And it's good for mountain driving, which I've done when I was headed up to Tennessee, especially on long grades, both climbing and decelerating. Typically on a long distance trip, I'll start out in EV mode until I get to an expressway. I'll manually select the hybrid mode while cruising to the exit on the long distance, and then I'll manually select EV mode again when I'm driving on local driving. I do bring a level 1 charger with me on trips and can use it at my destination if I can get to a friend or a motel or something like that, 110, 120 outlet. Otherwise, I remain in EV mode until the car automatically selects the hybrid mode when remaining EV range gets to 0, as I've stated, and stay in that mode for the return trip. I have not used commercial charging with this car, although I could. Since the pandemic, since I bought the car, I've only put 14,000 miles on it. And for that reason, the demands on the gasoline engine are much, much less. And what I'll do is make sure the gasoline engine runs at least once on each short trip by doing half of it in EV and half of it in HEV or hybrid mode. And as far as maintenance goes, because of the low mileage in the gasoline engine, I really change oil only once a year to keep the warranty valid. I could probably go much longer because it uses synthetic oil. And there is no oil or lubrication that's involved with the electric components. It's only for the gas components. I am considering the purchase or lease of a Fisk repair. And as Ron said, we have a lot of different reasons why we want to get a new car. Don't need one, but it's desirable. It's a full EV. It will be assembled in the US in 2024. It's anticipated to have battery components that meet the new tax incentives for a $7,500 tax credit. I won't make my final decision until sometime in 2024. You'll probably hear me talking about it as we get closer. And for now, I think I have what I would say is the best of both worlds with gasoline powered transport for my short trips, gasoline engine for longer trips without range anxiety, the thought that I have to find some place to charge, which will go into that Fisker decision. And the big positive is being able to charge my car battery from our solar system on sunny days, keep smiling, and drive the first 26 miles for free. And here you go, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. That's great. Just so everyone understands, I have a gas hybrid. Mike has a plug-in hybrid. I actually have ordered a plug-in hybrid, and but the plug-in hybrid is $15,000 more. I will be getting, there is $7,000 of tax incentives I get for that, which you do not get on a gas hybrid. I don't know, Mike, if that's the same in the United States, but gas hybrid, you don't get any tax incentive. So that 15,000 will slightly be offset by that $7,000. And hopefully I've got some equity in the thing because, of course, the big demand. We'll see what happens and see what the negotiating position is on that.
Something new from Google. It's called Better Together Android to PC Nearby Sharing app. Make sure that you download this only from Google. Wireless sharing with your PC made easy. Send and receive photos, documents, and more between nearby Android devices and your Windows PC. Start by downloading Nearby Share Beta for Windows. Agree to Google's terms of service and install the app. Once that's done, start enjoying the ability to share directly from your phone to your computer and much more. But how you share and with whom you share is fully within your control. Once you've installed the app, the next thing is to go to your phone and pick out something you want to share. Let me show you how that's done. So as you can see, I have both Nearby Share Beta from Google open, and it's waiting to receive. I also have my Pixel 6 open, so let's send something from the Pixel 6 over to the PC. Let's open up Photos. There's a nice one. Select the photo and select Share. And right here you have Nearby Share. Select it. And I have two choices. Both of them are marked as a laptop. One of them is and the other one isn't. I'll fix that the next time I go into the settings. Let's select the device. Let's mark it as done. And as you see here, it's been received. I can now open it. You have to admit that this picture looks a heck of a lot nicer than the picture we saw on the phone. Close this back out. And there's the picture on the phone. I prefer the one that I just received on my desktop, and I can now work with that picture on the desktop. That goes for any file, and you not only can send it to the devices that you have it paired with, you can also send and receive from contacts. A nice little tool just released by Google, kind of marries your Android phone to your PC. Stay safe, stay secure, have some fun. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.